What's it like for you coming into this world where people dress up as Vecna, making a pretty horrifying costume, I might say? What's it like experiencing that as an actor, coming to these events?
It's beautiful. I remember growing up and being like obsessed with skateboarding and skateboarders and TV shows and you know what I've realized and what I've come to realize is coming to these things, the impact of the films that we can make or the TV shows that we can make and how much that means to people and also for us as actors as well. All these amazing people here sat in front of us, you are our employers, without you we can't make anything. So to be able to spend time with people and look into your eyes and to say thank you and to just be here for you is a real blessing. It's a privilege, it really, really is. So I'm always humbled and overwhelmed and I hope that if you come and see us that you really feel like we care, because we do, like we really fucking care. I really fucking care, like I love you, thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's dive right into our audience questions, but like some of them already know me from different shows. I love to be the bad guy. If you have a question, make sure it's not, can I have a hug, can I have a kiss or whatever, because there's no time for that. We want to answer all of your questions, so let's make sure they're good questions. Welcome, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I think anyone here likes the friendship between you and Joseph. And Joseph described you in 3 words at StrangerCon, and he said you are hot. Can you describe Joseph for us today in 3 words?
Did he just say hot? Was that it? You said 3 words and he just went hot.
Yeah.
I can get very warm. Joe is mad in the most beautiful way. Is funny. Very funny. He constantly makes me laugh and he constantly makes me kind of look at life. He has a very interesting way of looking at life that I don't necessarily have, so that's really nice. Just as a friend, it's lovely to have. And then he's very sweet and kind. Those are my words. Those are my words for Joseph. And hair is the other word that I have for him. Just in general.
Just in general, I was going to say. Just in general.
Picture what you will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is, when you were shooting the scene between 1 and 11, where you had your monologue about humans, how long did it take you to get the whole thing right?
My mind wants to answer in like the most like ego-driven way. I want to be like, I got it right first time. I mean, it took me a few weeks to learn it and to memorize it first of all, and then to kind of make sure that the things that I was saying were connecting to images in my mind and were drawing up the right images. But when we were shooting it, so on the page, it was like, there'd be like 3 pages of dialogue and then there would be cut to flashback, and so there would be like a couple of paragraphs break. But I know Matt and Ross, and I knew Matt and Ross by that point, and I was like, these guys are going to ask me to do the whole thing in one go. Like, I just know it. So I really prepared for that. I was like, I'm ready just to blast this 10-minute long scene out. And I remember doing the rehearsal and doing it, and they were like, nice, like, cheers, thank you for that. So, it was just one of those things that as an actor, when you're given something like that, it's time to step up to the plate, and it's time to do it properly. So I was like, I'm going to give this everything I have. So, yeah, that's a long answer to your question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thanks.
I'm a bit nervous.
That's okay. Me too.
My question is, what was your favorite scene to shoot in your Wagner outfit?
My favorite scene to shoot in my Wagner outfit. I mean, they were all amazing. All of them were fantastic. I think when Vecna Henry as Vecna is talking to Eleven when she's strapped up, and he's telling her about Papa, and she's sort of, you know, appealing to his inner humanity. That was really a very intense and enjoyable scene to shoot. Just as from a performance perspective, I really loved doing that scene. It was another one that felt very similar to that monologue that Henry has, and I was like, this is going to be something I can really like get my teeth into. And then I don't know if you've seen the bloopers from the show, when Nancy's like tied to the chair and she's saying no, and I just kept, and like we just kept doing it, and it got so ridiculous that by the end of it I just kept saying yes back to her. She'd be like, no, I'd be like, yes. She'd be like, and Man Ross were like, I think we've got this scene now. I think we need to move on. So that was really fun too. But I loved shooting all of it. It's each scene for me brought something new and different, and was an experience that like no other before or after. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. You're so polite. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm excited to see you, first of all. And my question is, out of all the films you've ever been in, what was the most exciting character for you to be, apart from like Vecna now?
My experience with characters is always a funny one. They always tend to... art tends to imitate life. So, in my experience. So, for a lot of characters that I've played, when I remember them or look at them, they remind me of a specific point of where I was at in my life. One of the most enjoyable and influential characters that I played was Christopher Marlowe in a show called Will. Yeah, cult favorite. It was the first character where I started to grow my process more as an actor, just because I was older and looking at life in a different way. It was the first character that I felt like I threw myself and also my personal experience from the past into, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot, and to work with Shaker Kapoor, who directed that show, some of that show, and Craig Pearce, who wrote that show too, was a blessing and a privilege. But each character that I play, like I say, and each performance that I do, they're capturing moments in time. They're these ethereal bubbles, and so they all mean something. They all have a purpose. They all yeah. If I keep going now, I'll just fucking bang on for hours. So I'll shut up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Great question.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and I'm from the Netherlands.
Hi.
Hi, and my question is, I loved you since 2008, when you played in Oorlogswinter, the
Yes.
Dutch movie. What do you still remember about that, shooting that movie?
I remember it being very fucking cold. We filmed some of it in a town called Silute, which I believe is outside of the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius. I remember going to Lithuania because we had gone there because there was meant to be snow in the movie, and then it was the first winter in 100 years that it hadn't snowed, so we had to use all of the fire department's like foam as snow, basically. I remember having to learn how to ride a horse. I remember feeling incredibly out of my depth. I remember being like, I'm not supposed to be here, what's going on? And then I remember working with Martin Koolhoven, and I remember Martin, who directed it, being a huge fan of spaghetti westerns, and then years later made this incredible western that I watched maybe about 6 months ago, and it's fucking brilliant. So yeah, I had an amazing time. I had a fantastic time, but I love the Netherlands. I've played lots of shows there, lots of gigs there. I've gone on trips there for New Year, and you know, I don't love it for that smoking pot. You know, I love it for the art and for the shopping. There's amazing as well.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Hi.
Hello, love.
I wanted to ask about your favorite food.
Oh, you want to know what it is or what it looks like? What it tastes like, or should I make you guess? I love Japanese food. I just flew in from Tokyo yesterday.
Yeah.
Japanese food is just incredible. It's delicious, and it just is beautiful, and everything looks like a little garden. It's really nice, and I love pizza. I absolutely love pizza, and I love donuts. I also love a donut. I'm going to tell you something really personal now. I don't know if you know this, but I stopped drinking alcohol many years ago, and when I stopped drinking alcohol, my body was craving sugar, just like absolutely needed this sugar. And there was a donut shop in London, and I used to order so many donuts from this shop. And my brother met the owner of this donut shop just out and about on the town, and he was like, "Oh, my name's Sam Bower," and the guy was like, "Wait, you're not related to Jamie Bower, are you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I am. How do you know who my brother is?" And he's like, "Your brother is so famous in our donut shop because he orders so many fucking donuts, and I will never live the shame down." So yeah, donuts are great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Donuts. The most annoying thing about Joseph Quinn. His everlasting style. There you go.
Thank you.
And his chocolate button eyes.
I think you might be able to hear us in the back,
Joseph, we're coming for you, all of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. It's magical having you here. And I was curious if there are some historical or famous people that inspired your artistic journey the most, and if so, who and how?
It's a very good question. I mean, at a very young, I say a very young age, at like 15, I discovered Bob Dylan, and I discovered Jack Kerouac, and I discovered Allen Ginsberg, and I really fell in love with the idea of becoming this kind of traveling waif who would float around America on, you know, trains and all this kind of shit. And also I think I fell in love with the idea of like storytelling through music and poetry in general. And then as I've grown older, you know, there are poets like Ted Hughes, who I love, and Brian Patton, who I also adore. And there are so many bands, you know, someone was wearing a Cure jumper earlier today, and like, I love the Cure. So that list is kind of like ever growing. Jesus is a huge inspiration for me. 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, man, good on you. Yeah, it's this sort of ever-growing list. You know, Aleister Crowley is very interesting to me too. Anton LaVey. There's a lot of like, I like the weirdos. I really like the weirdos that kind of push the boundaries of what it means to be human and to create art. And I want to push myself in that same way. Obviously without hurting anyone, that's awful, you don't want to be doing that, but like, you know, just to see how far it can go and what else is out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, great question.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey Jamie.
Hello.
My name is Daniela.
Hello, Daniela.
So good to see you.
Thank you.
I'd like to know which song would save you from Ragnar?
The classic question. I answered this question at a fucking red carpet, like at the beginning of when the show came out, and I gave the stupidest answer. I said something like Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. What a dumbass. And I keep having to say this answer now because I feel like if I don't keep doubling down on this answer, I'll end up seeming like I don't know what I'm talking about, which in truth I don't. So Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry.
It's okay. You can tilt it.
I'm small, I'm sorry.
That's okay, don't apologise. It's tall, it should apologise to you.
If it's okay for you, my question is more on your musician side. As you write your own songs, I would like to know what is that gives you the inspiration, like what gives you the click, like, oh, I need to write about this. Thank you.
Personal power and strength and a feeling of really being in tune with myself is the greatest gift for inspiration. It's like having these incredible moments of clarity. So I write as often as I can do. I'll write when I'm not having these moments of clarity, and a lot of what I'll write when I'm not having a moment of clarity is bollocks. Like, I've got a lot of material that is unlikely to ever see the light of day because I know that in that time as I was writing it, it was an exercise just to write rather than a necessity. So the inspiration comes from some external source. It's untouchable. I think I'm using the word correctly here. It's like ephemeral, you know. It's this nothingness that is everything, and it requires a level of like inner peace, and it requires a level of connectivity for me as an artist. I'm not saying that for everyone. Like, I can create art when I'm frantic and chaotic, but the art that I like to create when I'm feeling frantic and chaotic is more visual art rather than music. I'm a big believer in whatever you're feeling in that moment, whatever the sonic structure of those chords is going to impact the listener. So what is the gift that you want to be giving to the listener? Is it chaos, or is it reality? Or is chaos real? I don't fucking know. I've gone on for hours about that shit. But yeah, that's my rough answer to that. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your smart and intelligent question. Appreciate it.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
My name is Franka. I hope you enjoy your time in Germany.
Thank you so much.
I'm a big fan of the roles you play in the movies, but I'm also a big fan of the music you make. So my question is if you think there will be a time, or if you're planning on going on tour again with the music.
Absolutely, yes. I would love to go on tour again. Yes, I'm very... Thanks. Yeah, exactly. Maybe Germany? Yeah. Yes, I would love to go on tour again at some point. That would be fantastic. I seem to be building up to that point soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Jamie.
Hello.
My name is Hannah, and I just wanted to ask, what was the strangest scene you've ever been in Stranger Things 4?
What was the strangest thing I ever...
strangest scene you've ever been in?
Oh, the strangest scene I've ever been in? Oh God, there's a lot. There's a lot. Have you seen the show Stranger Things? Most of that is fucking weird. I had to kiss a friend's mum in a movie once. I went to school, she was a couple of years below me and her mum was an actress, and I ended up in a movie with her. And we had to kiss, and that was weird. It was like, this feels so wrong. What else? Again, in that show, Will, I had like 9 men like touching my body. That was a lot. That was a lot. Who cheered?
It would have been fun.
Big fan of your work. Yeah, it's all pretty mad. It's all pretty weird. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't weird, let's be honest. There you go, a couple of answers. Yeah, mull on that, don't mull on that.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Mila and my question is, would you rather play in Twilight or Stranger Things if you had to choose?
Would I, well, I'll let the audience decide. For Jay.
So Twilight?
Twilight? Stranger Things? There's your answer.
Twilight it is.
Twilight, yeah. I'll see you on the set of Twilight, yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. I would first like to say you do such an excellent job playing Vecna and 1. So what is your favorite part about playing the character?
Oh my God. First of all, thank you. You're all so polite. Thank you. I don't expect that. I expect to come to places for people to go, all right, dickhead, listen. That's my own mind. That's my own problem. I need to talk to my therapist about that. Or a therapist. Any therapist would do. What's my favorite thing about playing in Stranger Things? Again, you know, what comes up in my mind when people ask me that question or something like that is often to do with the writing. The way Matt and Ross write this show is the reason that we all love it, and the reason that I love it as an actor, is because peppered throughout this world of the Upside Down and this kid with powers are these real truths. They're just beautiful, true moments, and when you read that or when you watch that, you're just drawn in. So for me, it's picking up the script and seeing what these incredibly talented individuals have given us as a gift to work on. I remember when we were doing episode 4, where Max is like tied up, you know, and I'm saying things to her. And we hadn't quite figured out yet how to record the sound properly, because you can't put a mic on Vecna. He's naked. Where are you going to put the microphone, you know? And we were wondering if we were going to have to do it in post, or whether, you know, like what we were doing. Eventually we figured out if we record it at the right sound, like at the right depth, then it's okay. So I would often do a scene, and then at the end of the scene, I'd have to like stand in the middle of the set with the guy with the boom at my mouth and just say the lines. And the first time I had to do this was on that set in the mine lair, just after Max has been done. And there's like a crew of like as many people as there are here, and I'm stood at the edge of this fucking stage like this, and the guy's got the boom, and I had to like do the voice, and I just closed my eyes and just let go, and it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I hated it. And then I got used to it and I loved it. But no, I won't do it because I get afraid, but thank you so much for asking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for a question. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Marie.
Hi.
And my question is, how was it in your Vecna costume? Was it hot or cold?
It was fucking boiling. It was so hot. We filmed a lot of the show in the summer. We started filming in the winter, and then we went pretty much all the way through the summer. And summers in Atlanta, in Georgia, are incredibly humid. They were really, really hot. So I would often finish the end of the day with like, there's like a bit where the suit, like the chest and the head meet, and there's like a gap there, and it would just fill with sweat. It was gross. And there's an amazing prosthetic artist called Duncan Jarman who works on the show. And Duncan would often be the poor guy that would have to cut the suit open at the end of the day, and he'd be on the floor and it would just pour out onto him. So it was really sweaty and pretty gross. Yeah, not cold, not cold.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How long was the process of actually getting you camera ready with the...
5 days. 5 days, mate. Yeah, I get there like 5 days before I just noticed. It's about 7. It started when we first did it, when we were doing the actual work. It's, oh my God. What a vision, just floating past. The ghost of Eddie Munson.
Were we dreaming?
Wait a minute, is this the upside down? Yeah, but it started at about 14 hours and then we got it down to about 6.5 by the end of it. Yeah, 7, 6.5 hours. Still a lot, yeah, still a lot, yeah.
Well, thanks for your question, you already left, but...
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
First of all, you're an amazing actor. I love all the things you do.
Thank you.
My question is, what was it like filming the scene where Nancy, Steve and Robin like set you on fire?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. It was the last thing that we shot. The actual last moment that I believe that we put down into the lens of me as Vecna was that final gunshot that Nancy, you know, blasts into Vecna, and it was, it was weird because obviously they're like, oh, and so one of them's going to throw this Molotov cocktail at you and you're going to drop from the ceiling. Okay, cool, so I'm physically going to drop. Great, I can do that. But then you're going to be on fire. Am I going to be on fire? Well, you are in the show, but not now. You're not going to, so pretend you're on fire. And I was like, okay, so pretend I'm on fire. And then, you know, Nancy's going to shoot you, so how do I do all of that? And so we spent about half an hour kind of figuring out how it was going to end up, like, just physically being. And then we ran the take and it was badass. Like, and I remember seeing Matt and Ross just before the show came out, and there's that moment where Vecna like opens his mouth and screams at her, and they were like, we were watching that back in the like they saw the edit and they were like, we were certain that like the effects guys had like made your mouth wider. They were like, your mouth was like they were like, we were sure of it. And then they asked the effects guys, and the effects guys were like, no, that's just how big his mouth is. Which I love. So it was great, it was really cool. And Hiro, who is our stunt coordinator, is the coolest guy. That whole stunt crew are just the sickest crew. So it was awesome. It was really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Eddie Munson.
Yes.
My question is it more fun to play villains or good guys?
I think, well, for me, it tends to be the villain. I mean, I think that the villain often has the more like complex storyline, and I saw something, which I'm sure a lot of us have seen on Instagram, that said like, the hero is the character that will sacrifice you for the world, but the villain will sacrifice the world to save you, which I love, because I love people. So fuck it all to hell. So naughty. Yeah, I just find that they tend to have these meatier, traumatic experiences that make them who they are. That being said, something like Stranger Things, even our heroes have like trauma. A lot of our show is about trauma and why people are the way they are. I often find heroes in most things to be very one-dimensional. Is that it? Is it telling me to shut up?
No, it means that your car is in the way, so you need to...
Thanks. Yeah, villain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
You look fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So my question is, like you played in the Shadowhunters movie.
Yes.
What was that like? And how different was that from acting in Stranger Things? Like, yeah, what's the difference to you and your experience?
Yeah, I mean that was an awesome film to shoot. I got to do, you know, some great shit on that movie in terms of like stunts and, you know, digging into Jace, you know, and using the books as reference was really cool. That was really fun, and kind of building that character was an enjoyable experience. You know, it was a hugely, you know, expensive film to shoot, you know, and that's always interesting. It was my first real experience of stunt work though, so that was something I really like relished in. But Jace and Henry are like two very different characters, and I was young then, you know, like I didn't have much life experience. Oh, there he is. Give us a wave, sweet cheeks, come on. You know, they're very different characters, but as I was saying, like, I was very young then, I didn't have much life experience in me. So to play something like Henry now, with the experience and the awareness that I have of life, is vastly different to playing Jace, who is this cocky, not self-aware, you know, sort of wannabe bad boy.
Well, Jace is actually one of my favorite characters, and you did perfect on him. So.
Thank you. I wasn't slagging him off, but thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Hansi.
Hi.
And my question is, what's your favorite actor in Stranger Things?
Oh, who's my favorite actor? I can't.
No, really, because they're listening. in the back, they're listening in the back from their booths. No, it would be like, yeah,
it'd be like picking a child. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
maybe we can do it in like the most fun to
least
scene
fun.
with, or no. Like, but the most fun experience on set with one of the actors.
I mean, honestly, I like every, you know, human beings are beautiful, right? I'm going to go a bit spiritual on this. Arsehole. Everyone has the most unique ability. That's what makes us beautiful people. Everyone is unique in their own right, and I love this cast. Like, let me tell you something, that when Joe and I and Nikolai and Tom and, you know, all the new people joined this cast, we obviously were terrified, right? Like, we were like, oh my god, it's season 4 of Stranger Things, shit. Every single person who's been making this show was lovely, like just made us feel at home, beautifully at home. I obviously worked a lot with Millie, so mine and Millie's bond is really strong. She's an amazing person, and I have a lot of love for her, but I love them all. You know, I'm 34 years old. Winona Ryder came up to me at the read-through of the show, and Joe, and she went, "Hi, I'm Winona," and I'm like, I fucking know who you are. Winona Ryder, shit. So, you know, they're all amazing. They're all incredible. They're just such a talented bunch of people. It's crazy. You don't get gigs like this with no ego. None of them have an ego. It's wild. You expect them at least one of them to be an asshole. None of them. It's great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Sarah, and my question is, who swears the most on set?
Well, can you not tell? Can you not tell? It's probably me. Sean Levy likes a good swear. He loves a good swear. He gets very animated and excited and does enjoy a good swear. But it's it's probably me though. I'll be honest with you. It's probably me. I like when I see something that's really. I remember watching Natalia do the Nancy Gunn scene, and I was stood like by the monitor watching her do it, and I just was with Matt and Ross, and they played it back in slow motion.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
That's okay. Me too.
My question is, what's your favorite anime? Because you went to Japan.
Yeah.
And Japan is, as you hopefully know, the city of animes.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite?
Well, I went to go see Belle when it came out, like whenever that was, like a year ago. Actually, it was the beginning of this year, I think it came out. It was like January, right? Or something like that. That I thought was like just awesome, like truly moving. The music was amazing. The visuals, like the way that movie looks is incredible. But I love Black Butler and I love Helsing, and like there's a lot. I mean, it's not necessarily anime, but there's a Korean movie called Seoul Station, which is like a zombie cartoon, like anime style kind of movie. But yeah, I love Black Butler. I'll just watch that shit for hours if I could. It's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Black Butler is the best one.
There you go.
Do you read the manga?
Do I read manga?
Yeah.
No.
The manga is better.
Okay, I will. Hi. Oh my Jesus Lord. Behind you. Look out, it's Vecna.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Congrats on the show and everything. I want you to say something clever, but I think I'm just gonna be petty instead to get on my cousin's nerves. So this is about Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
So how was it possible for Anthony to get beaten by the beetle with a stick and get his bag thrown on his head and just casually stand up and start belting the
Joanna.
I'll steal you Joanna part?
Because he's tough as old boots. And well, I'll tell you, because they had these lovely crash mats put down on the floor. That's how it was possible. And the stick that the beetle used was made of rubber. So there you go.
So it wasn't the power of love.
That's a better answer. Ask me again.
Thank you so much.
It was the power of love, thank you.
So, this is actually the perfect moment to create a moment. I thought it would be fun to have Henry on stage, and I also want to invite young Henry on stage. Give it up for Raphael Luce.
Come and take a pew, take a pew. We'll share a microphone. And like looking in the mirror. Yeah. Beautiful.
To make it...
Because obviously I'm the real...
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Goodness me.
To make it even more iconic, there's Vecna!
Come on, love.
Well. Look who decided to join us today.
Hello.
It's so nice to meet you, Jamie. I want to say Henry. Yeah, my question to you is the following question. Which role is more comfortable for you to play? Vecna, Henry or Grindelwald? Because all of them are manipulative, they are obsessed with leadership, and they are kind of psychos in their own way. So which role was more comfortable for you to play?
All of them, yeah, exactly. I felt in control in every single one of them. Oh God, they're all mental, aren't they? Really. Vecna is an amazing character, but in terms of comfortability, he's not that comfortable. Let's be honest. Henry is tough, and Grindelwald is, in my experience, very brief. So the brevity of Grindelwald probably makes it the easiest to play. You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much, and you were right, it is really boiling in this thing.
Yeah, right.
He's got to have the Starbucks. I can see how like shiny and oily you are from here. It's lovely.
Where?
Oily, greasy.
Shiny and oily and greasy.
Yeah.
Because it's hot.
Yeah. That's like, I totally understand that you were literally suffering that costume, no?
Have you? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So Raphael, welcome on stage, and obviously, like for both of you, this is also the world of Comic-Con, where we have people dress up as a character that you either portrayed yourself or one that you ultimately would end up growing in. What's it like to see the show come to life outside of, like, in a totally different continent?
You know, I'm very new to this. I've been doing a couple conventions, but honestly, I'm having so much fun doing this, and like meeting everyone, seeing people dress up as like, I don't know, like for example, Eddie and Chrissy and all those guys. It's incredible just to see everyone and meet the fans.
I mean, and the interesting thing is, of course, you've started as young Henry, but your scenes were so isolated from the other characters because it's a different time period.
And that's why I love doing these conventions, because it's really nice to meet my co-stars, you know, that I haven't met.
And obviously,
I've never met Jamie before now and today.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Yeah.
But you do play the same character, so what's it like not actually knowing each other, but still trying to get to that point where it's the same character?
So one of the things that I was working on with Henry before the sort of turn, as it were, where he's killed 2 and 11 comes in the episode 7, was this idea of like innocence and this idea of being sort of repressed and suppressed and oppressed, but all the while trying to keep a sweetness and a lightness to it. And so I came up with this kind of mantra that I would do, and then I physically was like, well, I need to be able to like hold my eyebrows and my forehead in a particular way to seem non-threatening. And I remember having worked on this and then going into the makeup trailer and seeing a picture of Raphael and look at his eyebrows, they're like held like this all the time.
I got bushy eyebrows.
No, but it's like, it's this sweetness that you have and this lightness in your forehead that like is held like this. It's lovely, and I remember seeing it and being like, holy fuck, like there's a reason, there are so many strange things that happen doing this show, and that was one of them where I was like, I'd never even seen a picture, you know, it was just like, it works, this is all working.
The funniest thing is that I had no idea who I was playing until the last time I was shooting. They didn't tell me for a whole 3 years. I had no idea who I was playing. They just told me like what I was doing in the scene. But I had to do like my own like Sherlock Holmes, you know, I had to investigate and ask people, but they were so scared of something leaking that they told me nothing. Like, and the time I figured out who I was is when they tattooed 001 on my wrist. Then I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense why I'm like, the lights are flickering and people are on the table dead, you know, so I was like, okay, that makes no sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to take 2 more questions because we have 2 minutes left for this panel before we have the whole schedule with the photo shoots, etc. So hi.
Hi guys.
Hey.
My name is Chrissy. So please don't kill me. I don't have a question. It's more a wish. I'm a big friend from Sweeney Todd, and I want to.
If you ask me to sing, I swear to God, I'm walking home.
Please sing for me, Joanna.
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you asking.
We haven't set up the microphones for singing, so...
also, I've smoked like 7 cigarettes already today. I'm not singing.
There we go.
Okay, then I had a question. Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Caius.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. First, let me put on my headphones because it's a little bit dangerous around here.
Yeah, right.
Got to watch out. Your friend is behind you.
Okay. You're one of my favorite villains, Vecna, of course, I mean. I would like to know who your favorite villain is.
Oh my God. Who's your favorite villain?
My favorite villain in the show?
Well, of all time.
Of all time? Oh wow, that is hard. mean, I don't know. I don't like scary shows. You know, I'm like a comedy. I watch The Office, The Friends. You know, Modern Family. I don't do scary stuff. You know, I barely even watch Stranger Things because it's so weird.
That's why you're so sweet. That's why you're so innocent. That's why you have this. In time, my friend. In time.
Yeah, in time. Okay.
My favorite villain. Holy shit. I mean, would you consider Dracula to be a villain?
Kind of.
Kind of. I love Dracula. I mean, you know, working on this show and doing the research that I did, I madly fell in love with Pinhead and madly just fell in love with Doug Bradley in general. Like, I can't get enough of that character. I just think he's so much so that I have like figurines of Pinhead in my house, and I've got posters of Hellraiser in various places. I just thought he was terrifying and such a unique, like what a unique character for Clive Barker to come up with. You know, he's amazing, amazing. Yeah. That first, like the first movie where he's coming out of that guy's coming out of the floorboards is terrifying. Yeah, Pinhead for me at the moment.
Thanks so much. So one a final question to and of course because you have your photo shoots. Of course, you're more experienced in creating characters over the years, and you're just getting started. But we can't wait to see more. But obviously, Henry has become an iconic character, as we can see in here today at this convention, but at so many other conventions. What's it like being part of that legacy that's also going to conclude in one more season, but it's going to be around for many, many years to come?
I'm just so grateful that I had the chance to be in the show, because it's, you know, it's the biggest show, and I feel so lucky to be part of it. You know, it's a really cool project, so I'm happy. Yeah.
I agree. I share that sentiment. Very wise and smart of you. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm you know, just humbled to have been a part of it, and to work on an amazing project with incredible writers, with an incredible creative team behind it. It is a dream come true. It's just a dream.
Thank you.